Chef Anton is live. Is there anyone on board? I feel a bit nervous doing this from my new page rather than who's first on? Ellie Langdon is first on board. How are you doing? Ellie, very impressed with all your press ups. Putting the lads to shame. Gary Sims is on board. Minced beef special just for your missus, mate. How's it going? Jaylee's on board. How are you doing? All good, all good, all good. Malcolm Eggleton's on board. How you doing, sir? Right. I had a little request. Louise Sims is on board. Funny enough, I was just about to mention your name. Helen Furlong's on board. How are you doing? So Louise Sims contacted me the other day and said, is there anything we can do with minced beef apart from the usual bolognese and chili? So I'm like, well, so I had a look around and there's loads of stuff you can do, but it's pretty samey, to be honest, like pasta bakes, chilies, you know, you can do sort of taco stuff, pies and stuff like that, meatballs, different variations of everything really. So what I thought we'd do is do some meatballs. Now, I know you can buy them in the supermarket, but it is much nicer to buy your own, to make your own rather. And also, you know what's in them, yeah? You can put whatever herbs and spices you like in there, and to make them taste as nice as you want, really. So, what I thought I'd do today is just do some keto ones. So, I don't want to put any breadcrumbs or anything like that in there. I'm going to put an egg in there, but I'll talk about that in a minute. But I didn't want to put any flour or breadcrumbs in there because obviously I'm doing this low carb thing at the moment. So have a look online, see what tickles your fancy. There's loads of different recipes on there. There's no right or wrong. It's just down to your personal preference, really. But what I would say, Stacey Coombs is on board. What I would say is, try and buy decent minced beef, right? Instead of seeing the £2.50 value pack, it's worth spending that extra quid, you know, and getting the extra special or whatever. It's much nicer quality beef. Got this from the butchers, so I'm expecting it to be nice. And on first sight, it looks pretty good, to be fair. So that there is. There's about 900 grams there, so which is a good amount. That should make us a good lot. So, like I said, lots of different variations. Nothing's gospel. So what I'm going to do is just quite a basic recipe. Instead of using chopped onion and garlic in here in the meatballs, I'm going to use garlic powder and onion powder. You can use fresh, but for this recipe, I'm just going to use that for now, so that I don't have to put the breadcrumbs in. What happens is the breadcrumbs will help keep the meatballs together, keep them moist, and along with the egg as well. Let's give a couple more shout outs. Ian Starr's on board. Andy King's on board. How you doing, brother? Ian Starr, £1.31. On the money. Sijo Creative, shout out to them. Right, so 900 grams of beef, which is basically, I think that's probably two packs. We've got a good teaspoon of paprika, okay, a good teaspoon of onion salt. You want the flavour in there. It's all about the flavour. Oh my god. Teaspoon of garlic salt. Look at that. Obviously, guys, you know, hygiene is key. Wash your hands and all that before you start. Done all that. Okay. Teaspoon of oregano. Okay. So that's in. And then we want about a teaspoon of salt. I use Himalayan sea salt. Table salt's fine, or like sea salt out the grinder is fine. I will catch up with all your comments and that, guys. Mo's on board! Where's Carl? Is he on board? I bet he's watching. He hasn't been watching your press up, so has he, Kev? Right, good amount of black pepper in there. Doesn't have to be black pepper, any pepper though. Lee Wheeler's on board! Yeah, I'm okay, Mark, thank you. Right, so, garlic powder's in there, onion powder's in there, salt, pepper's in there. So just give that a little mix around. I'm going to try and get this done as quick as I can because I don't want to stand here for ages making meatballs. All right, and then what we'll do, we'll get the meatballs made, and then we'll make the sauce after. All right. So that's all in there, seasoned up. We want an egg in there. Okay. Now the egg will help bind it all together. Okay, and it'll help stop them from falling apart. Get your hands in there, guys. Okay, give it a real good mix round. Okay, like I said, there's so much you can do with minced beef, but it is quite samey, really. You know, you can make pasties and pies, and you know, pasta bakes and burgers and all that, meatballs. So this is just something a little bit different. The sauce is a little bit different tonight, rather than your normal tomato-based sauce. We'll go for something a little bit different. So I am going to use a little bit of alcohol in tonight's sauce, but you know, if you haven't got any, it doesn't matter. If you think the kids won't like it or whatever. And also, you know, that smells lush. Like I said, guys, nothing's gospel. Guys, thank you very much for liking my new page as well. I'm excited about what I've got in my mind, and I'm looking forward to, you know, bringing it into reality if I can. Who else is on board? Tracy Jones is on board. Christopher Wynne Lewis. Martin Nils on board. How you doing, sir? Right. So I'm aiming for meatballs about the size of a golf ball. That's a bit big. Right. So when you're doing your meatballs, like that, and then just cup your hands like that. Okay. Easily done. Doesn't matter if they're slightly out of shape, guys. God, that's the beauty of it. We're rustic. We're rustic here. We're not Michelin star. Yeah. You get these in. How's everyone doing anyway? Rubbish weather today, wasn't it? Daniel Braun's on board. Feel free to ask any questions, guys, about anything at any time. Always here to answer. I might know the answer, I might not. I make mistakes. I tell you what I did the other day. I was talking to Podge about tarragon, and I remembered that years ago my mate made he did a chefing competition. He was in the Young Chef of the Year, and he got to the final and he made pineapple and tarragon tartane, and it really worked. The tarragon went really well with the pineapple, and you'd think it wouldn't, but it did. So I tried to make some pineapple and tarragon samosas, and the mixture was banging. But I haven't used phyllo pastry for a while, and I went for the baking option rather than frying them, and they all split, and it was a nightmare. So, you know, we do all make mistakes from time to time. Andy Burton's on board, one of my longest standing mates. So, God, they look banging. That meat is lush. That minced beef. like I said, guys, try and go for good quality mince if you can. You know, this is something. Glyn Howell's on board. How you doing, mate? This is something you can do, you know, the evening before. Get them cooked up. They'll work in the slow cooker. I know a lot of people got busy lives. When everything gets back to normal, everyone's going to be busy again and stuff. But like I said, they're a really nice size there. Nice and fresh. Barb's on board. How's your hangover? Recovered? Yeah. Right. Sorry, man, I can't see. My eyesight's shocking. When it says steak mince, is it any better than standard beef mince? It will be, because you'll have, you'll notice, I'll show you in a sec, this is steak mince. And what you'll see with the steak mince is a lot deeper colour, yeah? Whereas the normal standard beef mince, you'll have a lot more white fat running through it, which basically means they've just put more crap in it at the butchery. Right, let me just wash my hands, guys, and I'll be straight back. Right. So, meatballs made. Yeah, look at the deep red colour of that. They smell amazing. Alright. So, what was that? 5-10 minutes to make those? Yeah. It's not that bad, guys. Right, so just some oil in the pan, let that heat up a little bit more. And then what we're going to do, we're going to brown off the meatballs. So I've got one red onion. I'm just going to finely slice that, ready for the sauce when we've finished. Like I said, guys, if if the kids don't like a creamy sauce or whatever, then you could use your basic tomato one. It's just trial and error, guys. Like, find some herbs that you think you might like. You know, try something a little bit different. There's loads of nice things out there available at the moment. Yeah. So we've got that. I've got a huge clove of garlic which will go in the sauce. So chop that in as well. Got some good things coming. I've got some jars on the way and some labels on the way. So I'm going to be getting the chili sauces and the relishes and etc. up together pretty soon. So I'm excited about that. Right, so oil's heating up. I've got some fresh thyme that I'm going to put in with the sauce as well. Probably about, I don't know, if you haven't got any fresh, dried is fine. So these are quite big balls. We like big balls. Probably a little bit bigger than a golf ball. Just get them in. Like I said, guys, it doesn't matter if they're not perfectly round. I think that, you know, shows that they're not made in a factory. Yeah. They smell amazing already. You can tell the difference when you buy meat from a butcher's, 100%. Right, get rid of that. Keep that to the side, because once you take them out, once they're browned off, we'll put them in here. And here's my tongs. There we go. Lost my tongues, guys. Oh, there they are. We like meaty balls, don't we, Mo? Love it. Got some beautiful fresh thyme here. So we'll just roughly chop that up to go in with the sauce. Get a nice bit of colour on them. What you'll notice as well, with better quality mince, you won't get as much fat come out in the pan, which is what you do. You don't want loads of fat in there. Just start turning them over now. Get a nice bit of colour on them. They're going to be banging. Smells amazing. Nice lot of oregano in there. Right, cool. Austin Coombs is on board. James V is on board. How we doing? Right, so meatballs are browning nicely in the pan. Get a nice bit of colour all the way round on them. Don't want to shake them too much because you don't want them to split. But they shouldn't split anyway because the egg should have binded them together. And we're going to go, so at this stage, while we're browning them, make sure you've got your next stage ready, right? And then when that stage is cooking, we can get on to your next stage. So what we've got now, once I get these meatballs out, that onion and garlic is going to go straight in, yeah? And then all the flavour is going to go into the sauce, which is exactly what we're looking for, okay? This is where Louise Sims now tells me they don't like meatballs. Do you like, Louise, do you like meatballs? Gary, do you like meatballs? I bet you do. Shout out to my my best friend as well, Mark Hodge Powell, who shared my new page on his page, and I got loads of people that I don't know follow my page, but I say I don't know them, I know they're friends of his, and I recognise their names from when we used to do the lives on the taco van. So I really appreciated that. Right, got a nice lot of colour on these now. Okay, so they can go out. Okay, just sit there and rest for a second. So onions and garlic, straight in that pan with that flavour. Okay, we're going to make our sauce now. So, onions and garlic are in. Turn the heat down to medium. All that flavour is in that pan. Okay, then what we're looking for, mushrooms. If you can, guys, I always prefer to buy the chestnut. I think there's a lot more flavour in there. Or the big mushrooms you get. I try to buy those, or either like the little white ones, the valley ones. They've got no flavour. Yeah, you want as much flavour in everything as we can. So I've kept these quite chunky. Okay, so it's going to be quite a chunky sauce. If you don't like mushrooms, you don't have to put it in. Simple as that. Okay, so there's about 4 big size mushrooms there. Nice balls. Gavin Badlam. Yeah, definitely. I've seen you give that nice bottle of wine to Podge. Gavin, I don't know if you probably don't remember me, but I used to play rugby with you at Imperial, believe it or not, with Ian Eld was one of my best muckers back then, and Kitch and Elvis and all that lot. That was a good old days. Amy's on board, how we doing? Right. So, onions are cooking down nicely now. And then what we want to do, just before we add the mushrooms, is deglaze that pan. You can use, because it's a creamy sauce, brandy goes quite well with it. I'm going to use a little bit of amaretto, because I think that almond flavour will be quite nice. Not too much, just literally a splash. The alcohol off, not much at all. Okay, that will evaporate really quick to nothing, but that flavour is in with those onions. Okay, so quickly chop that thyme up. That's going to be about 2 teaspoons of freshly chopped thyme. Okay, straight in that sauce. I'm going to put a sprinkle of oregano in there, probably about a teaspoon again. Okay, and then mushrooms will go in. Okay. Just fry those mushrooms off a bit. Mate, that was way back then. Used to play back row with you. I think you were more in the first team though. Nick's Winslow's on board! So, nice lot. Get some nice colour on those mushrooms. Okay, then what we've got then is a little bit of celery, okay, just for added flavour, but I want to really finely slice this. I should have probably added this with the onions, I forgot it was there to be fair, but it don't matter, it all goes in there. So that's 2 sticks of celery, really finely sliced in. Should have put it in with the onions, but I forgot. See? That's coming together nicely. Nice bit of caramelization. Yes, mate, you can do it with a tomato sauce instead of cream. Definitely. Whatever you want, mate. It's like as I start developing my page, you'll start to realise that I don't really follow rules or recipes or anything like that. I cook from in here, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Like I said on my bio, I've just got a little bit of knowledge of working in a professional kitchen, and if I can pass anything on, then I will. But I have got a passion for cooking that has been reignited, if you like, recently, and I want to see where it goes. Right, so mushrooms are nice and cooking now. We've got a pint of beef stock in there. Okay, I use those Knorr stock gels. I think they're really good. You can use like an Oxo or whatever, but that was the rich beef one. It's got a real nice, rich, intense flavour. So bring that up to the boil now. So there's a pint in there, we'll bring it up to the boil and then we reduce it by half. Okay. It's all good. We are all good. What I'm going to do as well, guys, is chop some spinach. Just a good handful to add to the sauce in a bit. What we'll do now, brought that to a good boil, we'll just plonk those meatballs back in. Okay. There's a lot of in and out in this recipe, so bear with it. Okay, so let those meatballs cook for 5 minutes. I've been busy this evening as well. Just made a big bowl of that mango and pineapple salsa. Again, my missus liked it, so I had to make some more, which is all good. We had it for tea. Guys, feel free to ask any questions, or if you've got any suggestions of what we can have a cook, what we can cook, then I'm game. I'm game for it. Anything. Got some fresh parsley. We'll just roughly chop that to finish the sauce with. Which is great. Add a nice fresh flavour to it. Right, thumbs up if you like that new lemon cider. That's orange squash. What do we think of that? What do we think of that cloudy cider? That lemon Thatcher's. Thumbs up if you like it. I don't. I was expecting something a bit better, a bit more zingy, but I thought it tasted like cold lemsip, to be fair. Sarah Chick's on board, Nick Co's on board. Sarah Chick says it's shite. Well, I've got to agree with you. And to be fair, I went out Budgeons and Mill Lane, we paid £7.20 for 4 cans. I think they see me coming. Right, I've just got to open my window a minute, it's getting hot in here. Right, let's just keep these balls moving. We like keeping the balls moving. Okay, that's creating a nice rich gravy. I'm going to have this tomorrow for tea. We got some lovely meat from a butcher's. We have pork chops and chicken and minced beef, bits and pieces. It's nice. Lemon natch. Nikki Honeywell's on board. I was done. £7.20 for 4 cans, mine. Jodie Starr's on board. Pat Warner's on board. Did I just say that? Pat, what do you think of that new cloudy lemon cider? I bet you don't like it. I think he's a bit more of a beer man, is our Pat. Lemsip. That's what it was like. Cold lemsip. That's the only way I can describe it. Right. What you got to do, guys, as well, don't be afraid to cook with your fingers. Right? If you feel something, you feel how it's cooked just by touching. Yeah? See, they're still a little bit bouncy, so I know they're quite not ready. And when they firm up like a steak, yeah, you'll feel the give in them. Love the t-shirt. Shout out to Ian Starr and Sijo Creative. Thank you very much for your help. Got that on the back as well. See that? All about the flavour. I was messing around with label designs earlier, but I'm not very good on the computer at the moment. I've just bought a new Mac and I'm not very good on it, but I do want to learn and do it all myself. John Sasha Corbett is on board. How you doing, mate? Thank you for tuning in, guys. Much appreciated. A new venture, and let's see where it goes. It's just a bit of fun at the moment while this lockdown's going on, but I am keen to see where it goes. Right, so that now has reduced by half, I would say. So before it reduces anymore, we want to get those meatballs out. Alright, they're almost there. Because it's good quality mince, it will cook quicker. You've got less fat in there. That smells nice. Okay, so what we want then, we want to turn this sauce creamy. So all we're going to use is some cream cheese. Alright, any cream cheese will do. This is just as I do. It doesn't have to be Philadelphia. Okay. I'm not a big lover of cream cheese, so don't worry about it. But what you've got to remember is you're making a sauce out of it. Yeah? That's what you're doing. And it does make a really, really nice sauce. So just get the whisk in. It does take a while to melt in, but stick with it. And that will make a nice light brown colour there. That's lovely. Okay. So we got the makings of a really nice milky coffee colour like sauce, mushroom sauce to go with our meatballs. Okay. Once again, optional. You don't have to have it. I'm just going to put a good heaped teaspoon of whole grain mustard in there. Okay. Taste it. I know that needs a little more salt, and I know that it needs a little more pepper. We're almost there, guys. We are almost there. What I'll do, right, so that cream cheese is all melted in now, look nicely. Okay, so let's bung the spinach in. Okay, stir that in. Beautiful. Okay, and again, meatballs back in. Meatballs back in, just so they're coated nicely with all that creamy sauce. Beautiful, that. What I'll do, guys, I'll just plate a dish up so that you can see what it looks like, and I'll post a picture. So just to finish the sauce, squeeze half a lemon in, and that will just help cut that creaminess. Okay, give it a little bit of a zing. A really nice good handful of freshly chopped parsley. If you want to put other herbs in, guys, you're more than welcome. Yeah. That's some nice looking meatballs in there, got to be honest. Right, so just another 5 minutes. Not even that, 3 minutes, and that sauce is done. Okay, so there we go. I'll just plate one up in a sec. So what we've got is homemade minced beef meatballs with a creamy mushroom and spinach sauce. All right, it's just a little break from the norm, from a chili or a bolognese or whatever. So have a go at making your own meatballs. I know they're easy. You can buy them and stuff like that, but have a go at making your own. All right, it's pretty easy to follow. Always here to answer questions, guys, if you need. Like I said, I'm not professing to be better than anyone or anything like that, but you know, this is something I feel a bit passionate about. So I will go through all your comments and get back to you. And thank you very much for tuning in. I will put a picture up in a few minutes. And thank you for tuning in to the first official Chef Anton show. And hopefully we can do this again. Give us a thumbs up if we should keep going, because I'm enjoying it and I hope you are too. So love to you all, stay safe, and I will see you soon. Cheers. Oops.